Hey guys, welcome to yet another interesting session by Intellipaat where we learn about implementing classes in Python. So we'll start off by understanding what is the need for object-oriented programming, and then we'll learn what exactly are classes and objects, following which we'll understand what inheritance is, and further going ahead, we'll look at what are abstract classes and implement all of these in Python. So let's get started. So this is Sam, who codes mostly using procedural programming paradigm, and hence his code looks chaotic, and he is unable to properly implement the real-world problems. And this also leads to a lot of issues during debugging and deployment. Now, Sam wants to learn how to organize his code more effectively, and thus goes to his friend Matt for help. Matt suggests him to use object-oriented paradigm. So what exactly is object-oriented paradigm? To understand that, let me ask you some questions. Now, when you look around, what do you notice? What are you surrounded by? You're surrounded by objects, aren't you? For example, a car is an object, a bird is an object, an apple is an object. And with the help of object-oriented paradigm, you can represent all of these real-world entities in a simple way. And not just representing these real-world entities, you can also implement business logic to show how these objects are interacting with each other. Object-oriented programming is truly amazing, isn't it? Now that we've understood what exactly is object-oriented programming, let's go ahead and understand what are classes and objects. So simply put, a class provides a blueprint to implement real-world entities. So a class in general has data and functions. And data is nothing but features of the object, and functions are nothing but the actions performed by the object. So let's take a bird. It'll have some sort of features associated with it, such as color, weight, and height. And along with these features, a bird can perform certain actions, such as it can fly, it can eat, and it can sit. Now, when you combine these features and functions together, it'll give a general template to describe a bird, and that is nothing but your class. So this is all about class. Now let's look at objects. So objects are instances of a class. That is, a class gives a general template and objects are specific entities for that template. So over here, a bird is a general class which can have specific instances such as parrot, pigeon, and eagle. And all of these three instances have the features and functions associated with a bird. Now we'll go ahead and implement the concept of classes in Python. And to do that, we'll be using PyCharm. So this is PyCharm, guys. Now our first task would be to implement a class. So this is the syntax to implement a class. I'll just type out class bird. Now I'm creating a class whose name is bird. Now this class is empty, which pretty much has nothing. So I'll just type out pass over here. Now we'll create instances of this class. So the first instance would be eagle. I'll say bird. So this is how we create an instance. Now we'll create the second instance. The second instance is parrot. So we have two birds already. So the third bird is pigeon. So we've created three instances. Let me actually print these three instances. So I'll say print of eagle. Similarly, I'll print the other two instances. Parrot, and the third was pigeon. Now let me run this. So these are the three instances, and these are the memory locations where these instances have been stored. So now that we've created these instances, let's actually give some attributes to these instances. And those attributes are nothing but the features, that is the color of the bird and the height and weight of the bird. So I'll say eagle dot color equals brown, since the color of an eagle is brown. Now let me also assign the height and weight for the eagle. Eagle.color is done. Now I'll give the height and weight of this. So let's say the height of eagle is 10 meters. It's a pretty big bird, isn't it? and let's just say it weighs 200 kgs. Now let me print the values of all of these. So I'll just put in 3 placeholders over here. After putting in 3 placeholders, I'll say format and I'll give the values. So eagle.color, eagle.height, and eagle.weight. Now this will print the features of eagle. So the eagle has brown color, its height is 10 meters and its weight is 200 kg. Now similarly, let's also create another instance. So that will be parrot. So now I'm assigning the values for the parrot. So parrot dot color is equal to green because parrot is of green color. Now it's time to assign the height and weight for the parrot. Parrot is only 500 centimeters and its weight is, let's just say, 1 kg. Now let me again print all of these values for the parrot. So over here I need to change this from eagle to parrot. So parrot.color, parrot.height, and parrot.weight. Let me print this. So these are the features of an eagle and these are the features of parrot. Now what you see over here is we are doing a lot of manual typing. Now there is also a concept of constructor in Python. So if you already have a good enough knowledge of other OOPS programming languages, then you know with the help of constructor that you can pre-initialize the values. So let's go ahead and do that. Now we can do that with the help of the init function. So let's create an init function inside the bird class. So definition of init. So the first parameter is self. That is, it takes the instance and then we'll give out the values. The values are color, height, and weight. Now we'll say self dot color is equal to color. That is, we are assigning this attribute value to the value of the instance. We'll do the same thing for height and weight. So this will be self dot height equals height, and similarly this will be self dot weight equals weight. Right. So we are done with the init function over here. Now let's go ahead and again create the instances. So the first instance is eagle. And this is from the bird class. So over here we can directly assign the values. So the color of the eagle is brown and its height is, let's say, 10 meters and its weight is, let's say, 100 kg. So we are done with assigning of the values. Now after this, we need to make sure that there are exactly 2 spaces over here. Now after doing this, let's actually print the values of the eagle again. So let me give out 3 placeholders over here. Format, and so this is where we give the values of the eagle. So eagle dot color, eagle dot height, eagle dot weight. So this is how we can assign values to an instance with the help of the init function. Right. So this is how we can implement classes in Python. Now it's time to head back to our PPT and understand what is inheritance. So inheritance is actually quite a common phenomenon. Now, you would look like your father, wouldn't you? That is, you have inherited his physical features. Similarly, your father would look like your grandfather. That is, your father has inherited his features from your grandfather. And this is the basic premise behind inheritance. So, your grandfather would be the superclass for your father, and your father is actually the subclass to your grandfather because your father is inheriting his features from his superior. Similarly, your father would be the superclass for you, and you would be his subclass. Now let's go ahead and implement the concept of inheritance in Python. So let me delete all of this first. So I'll create a new class, and this class would be of vehicle. We need to make sure that the first letter of the class is always capital. Right. Now over here, we will again use the init method, and we'll give some values for a vehicle. A vehicle has a color, a vehicle has fixed cost to it, and a vehicle gives a set amount of mileage. Now we'll assign these values. So self dot color equals color, self dot cost would be equal to cost, and self dot mileage would be equal to mileage. So this would be our parent class or the super class, and we will create another class which would be our car, and this class would inherit the properties from the vehicle class because a car is nothing but a vehicle. Now we'll not give anything inside this, we'll just say pass, and we'll go down. So we're just supposed to give 2 spaces over here. Right. Now we have 2 classes over here. The first one is vehicle and the next is car, and car implements the properties of vehicle. So we're done with this as well. Now let me create an instance of the car class. So I'll say Ferrari equals car, and right, let me also assign the values to it over here. So I really like red color Ferraris, and the cost is, let's just say, a zillion rupees, and the mileage, let's just say it gives 100 kilometers per liter. Right, so now we have also created an instance of the car class. Now let me print the values. Again, I'll give out 3 placeholders over here, and I'll say format, and over here I'll give the values. So car dot right, so this is not actually car, so this is Ferrari dot color. So we're printing the color of the Ferrari, and then Ferrari dot mileage, and Ferrari dot cost. So we are printing the values of color, mileage, and cost for the Ferrari. So this is how we are using the concept of inheritance. So what you see over here is this class car is actually empty. That is, there are no methods or data inside this class, but this is actually inheriting the values from this method, and thus we can use these 3 attributes inside the car class as well, and this is how we are able to print the values. So this is the concept of inheritance in Python. Now let's go back and understand what exactly are abstract classes. Now, sometimes it happens that we have a vague idea of what we want to implement, but we're not quite sure how to do it. So this is where abstract classes come in. And abstract classes are basically those classes that contain one or more abstract methods. And an abstract method is a method that is declared but contains no implementation, so that we can build on it later on. So over here, we are creating an abstract class and we're naming it as area, and we just not know for what figure we are trying to find out the area. So what we'll do is we'll create an abstract class and we'll not define anything inside it, and after that we'll use this abstract class to find out the area for a square and a circle. So let's go ahead and do that with Python. Again, let's head back to PyCharm. Let me delete all of this. Now this line which you see over here, so this is where we are implementing the predefined class ABC, which is nothing but the abstract class and the abstract method. Now it needs to be understood that an abstract class could never be instantiated. That is, you cannot create an object for an abstract class, but the abstract class can be inherited by another class. So let's go ahead and create an abstract class, and I'll name this class as shape, and this inherits from ABC, which is nothing but the abstract class. Right. Now this abstract class needs to have an abstract method. Right, and I'll name the abstract method to be calculate area, and it just takes one parameter, which is just the instance, and I'll just say pass inside it because an abstract method cannot have anything inside it. Right, now it's time to create a new figure. So I'll say class of square, and this class inherits the shape class. Right. So over here now again it needs to be understood that whatever class inherits the abstract class, it also needs to override the abstract method over there. So let me override this method. Okay, now seems like we have overridden the method. We're supposed to give 2 spaces. Okay, now this is where we'll actually do the computation. Now we have overridden the method. So what we'll do over here is we are actually supposed to give one more attribute over here, because if you want to find out an area, we require either the side of the figure or the radius of the figure. Now since this is a square, the area of the square can be found out by squaring the side of it. So let me just say square area, and this will be A cross A, which is nothing but the area of the square, and I'll return this. Return of square area. Now let me create an instance of this. So sqr1 equals square. So I have created an instance of this, and again over here we are supposed to give 2 spaces. Now after creating an instance, we will print out the value using the method. So square1 dot calculate area, and the side of the square is 4. So if the side of the square is 4, its area will be 16. So this is how we implement abstract methods. Now let's go ahead and actually build another class, and we'll name it to be circle. So class circle, this inherits the shape class. Calculate area, this will be the same. I'll change this to circle area, and I'll return circle area. We're done with this as well. Now again, let's create another instance of this class. So I'll say cir1 equals circle, and we have created an instance, and it's time to print this. So we'll say cir1 dot calculate area of 4. That is, the radius of the circle is 4. Okay, there seems to be a mistake over here. Right, this is not how we calculate the area of a circle. So this will be 3.14 cross A, that is 3.14 into pi r square. Right, so this is the area of the circle whose radius is 4 centimeters. And this was the concept of abstract class, which we have implemented in Python. And this actually brings us to the end of this video. So let's have a brief recap. We started off by understanding what was the need of object-oriented programming. And after that, we understood what exactly are classes and objects. And we implemented both of them in Python. Following which, we understood the concept of inheritance. And we also looked at an example of inheritance. And finally, we understood what are abstract classes and also looked at an example for abstract classes. So thank you very much for watching this video. And if you're interested in doing an end-to-end training course, then Intellipaat actually offers you a Python training course. So kindly do check this course. Thank you very much for watching this video.